Katy Perry and Orlando Bloom have officially confirmed their separation in a joint.
Sometimes when they ask you that you're fine, you're really not fine or whatever.
Katy Perry breaks down the truth behind her split with Orlando Bloom. If you thought Katy Perry and Orlando Bloom were headed for happily ever after, think again, because just when you least expected it, bam, Katy Perry finally breaks her silence. And let's just say, the tea isn't just hot, it's scorching. 9 years, one baby, one engagement ring the size of a planet, and a breakup that hit harder than Roar in a gym playlist. So buckle up, because today we're counting down 10 truth bombs Katy Perry just dropped about her breakup with Orlando Bloom. And trust me, you've never seen a breakup glow up this poetic. But before we dive into the main video, Direct Celeb is where the truth gets untangled. From red carpets to courtroom whispers, we break down the drama behind the headlines and spotlight the real stories shaping celebrity culture. But here's the thing. Over 56% of viewers who watch this channel aren't subscribed. If you want smart, sharp, and always up-to-date coverage of Hollywood's biggest twists, the kind of stories the tabloids can't quite get right, now's the time to hit that subscribe button. It's free. It helps us keep the drama flowing, and it guarantees you won't miss a moment of the chaos. Thanks for being here. Now let's spill it. Number 1. Their love story started with a burger? Let's set the scene. Golden Globes after party, 2016. Celebs mingling, champagne flowing, everyone pretending carbs don't exist. Enter Orlando Bloom, dressed in full, I'm famous but chill energy. He spots Katy Perry and her burger, and without hesitation, he just grabs it off her plate. No intro, no, hi, I'm Legolas. Just straight up burger theft. And that, folks, was their meet cute. Katy later laughed about it in an interview, saying he just swooped in and took it. Which, let's be honest, sounds like a deleted scene from a rom-com called Fast Food, Fast Feelings. But here's where it gets juicy, and not just the burger. That moment, impulsive, random, borderline rude, actually lit the spark that kicked off one of the most high-profile celebrity romances of the decade. A-list status? Check. Instant chemistry? Check. Viral backstory involving meat? Double check. Now let's pause. When most celebs meet, it's at a Chanel dinner, or during a very staged red carpet interaction where a publicist whispers, smile behind a curtain. But Katy and Orlando, they met like two broke college kids fighting over the last slider at a party. That's not just funny, it's real. That one bite-sized moment broke through the noise, through the fame, through the cameras, and reminded us even mega celebrities can fall in love like the rest of us, with greasy hands and zero manners. At the time, both of them were at the absolute peak of their careers. Katy was still riding the wave of Teenage Dream, an album that literally tied Michael Jackson's record for most #1 singles off one project. Her world tours were selling out faster than Taylor Swift tickets during a Ticketmaster meltdown. She was a full-blown pop titan. Orlando, meanwhile, had conquered Middle Earth and the Caribbean and somehow managed to stay relevant without ever becoming a meme. That's talent. So imagine two global superstars connecting not over fame or fortune or forced proximity, but over a cheeseburger. It was cute, it was weird, it was unexpected. And that is the Katy Orlando brand. They didn't just fall into each other's arms, they crashed into each other's worlds with a side of fries. This origin story matters not just because it's quirky AF, but because it set the tone for everything that followed. Unexpected choices, real-life chaos, and a relationship that never played by the Hollywood rulebook. And if a stolen burger can spark nearly a decade of passion, drama, and one adorably squishy baby named Daisy Dove, imagine what's coming up next. Because if you thought that love story was unconventional, just wait until we dive into their first breakup and why it was almost too peaceful to be believable. Number 2, their first breakup was as chill as a yoga retreat. You know how most Hollywood breakups come with passive-aggressive tweets, dramatic unfollows, and at least one tearful Ellen interview? Yeah, this was not that. In March 2017, just 14 months after burger thief-turned-boyfriend Orlando Bloom swooped into Katy's life, the couple hit pause, not with drama, not with fireworks, but with a statement so calm, it could have been read aloud at a mindfulness seminar. The exact wording? They were taking respectful, loving space. Translation, we still like each other, but maybe let's not do this right now. And here's what made this breakup different. It was mutual, it was mature, and it was basically the opposite of every Taylor Swift lyric you've ever screamed in your car. While fans braced for the typical celeb split chaos, Katy dropped a tweet that was pure emotional kung fu. She wrote, "You can still be friends and love your former partners. No one is a victim or a villain." Mic freaking drop. Mike, Katy was out here turning heartbreak into a TED Talk. No shade, no subtext. Just an actual adult handling a breakup. Like an adult. And let's talk about Orlando for a sec. This man also played it cool. He gave an interview with L'Uomo Vogue where he basically said, "Look, we still love each other. We're just trying to figure life out. No drama, no jabs, just grown-up honesty." Their approach was so dignified, it confused everyone. The media was practically begging for mess. But nope, no Instagram purges, no public meltdowns, no anonymous sources talking to Page 6 about who cried more. They didn't even delete each other's photos. In Hollywood terms, that's basically a marriage. So what really happened? According to insiders, and let's be real, they're probably assistants with great ears. Both Katy and Orlando were just slammed. She was in full pop star grind mode. He was off saving galaxies or kingdoms or whatever his current film required. Two overbooked humans trying to date while being followed by 1,000 cameras. Yeah, not exactly a sustainable setup. But here's the part most people miss. This wasn't a breakup fueled by betrayal. It was one born from emotional maturity. They recognized they were drifting, and instead of clinging on for dear life like most couples on Instagram do, they took a step back to breathe. And honestly, that move, as unglamorous and non-newsworthy as it was, may have saved the relationship. Because, spoiler alert, this wasn't the end of Katy and Orlando. It was a reset, a season 1 finale, a cliffhanger before the reboot. So while tabloids were prepping their "it's over" headlines, Katy and Orlando were quietly laying the foundation for something bigger, stronger, and, dare I say, more grown-up. Number 3, the comeback couple of the year returned at an Ed Sheeran concert. Ah yes, nothing screams soft launch of a rekindled celebrity romance, quite like slow dancing to Thinking Out Loud, in a crowd of Ed Sheeran fans holding plastic cups of rosé. But that's exactly how Katy Perry and Orlando Bloom began phase 2 of their relationship. Low-key, under the radar, and surrounded by acoustic heartbreak anthems. Let's rewind. After their ultra-chill 2017 breakup, aka the most mature celebrity split since conscious uncoupling became a thing, fans figured that was it. A beautiful, burger-fueled love story. Tragically toasted. But nope. By late 2017, mere months after their respectful space began, eagle-eyed fans started spotting them together again, and not just running into each other at Whole Foods. We're talking cozy post-breakup vibes. First stop on the reunion tour? An Ed Sheeran concert in LA. They weren't front row, waving to the camera. Number. They were in the crowd, among the mortals, sipping drinks, whispering, smiling, being chill. Witnesses said they looked comfortable and happy. Let's be honest, Ed Sheeran concerts aren't exactly platonic zones. You don't go there with an ex unless you're absolutely okay with catching feelings. And this wasn't a one-off. After the concert sighting, more subtle appearances trickled in. Quiet dinner dates, casual outings, zero red carpets. Because this time, it wasn't about the spotlight. It was about rebuilding. Sources, read well-placed waiters and Uber drivers, said they were taking things slow. No pressure, no PR push, just two people reconnecting behind the scenes. Imagine that. Celebrities actually dating like normal humans. And then came the soft confirm. In early 2018, Katy Perry appears on American Idol, flashes that signature cheeky smile, and casually drops the line, "I've been spoken for." Boom. That was it. No press release, no staged paparazzi kiss, just a 6-word confirmation that Orlando was back in the picture, and probably in the kitchen making avocado toast. Let's take a moment to appreciate the subtlety here. In an industry where celebs announce relationships with joint perfume launches and couples TikToks that scream brand deal, Katy and Orlando went the complete opposite route. No hype, no chaos, just a quiet restart. Why? Because this time, it wasn't about proving their love to the public. It was about proving it to each other. And fans? Oh, fans were living. The internet went from "Rip Katy Lando" to "Wait, are they back?" to "Never mind, I believe in love again." Faster than you can say, "Set fire to the rain." Wrong artist, still the vibe. This reunion didn't just give us relationship goals, it gave us hope. Hope that sometimes a little space doesn't mean the end. It means healing, growth, and maybe even round two. Because the truth is, sometimes timing is everything. And while their first run was fast and fiery, this second round, it had more patience, more maturity, less ego. They weren't trying to impress us, they were trying to get it right. And if the quiet reunion wasn't enough to melt your jaded little heart, just wait until number 4. That helicopter proposal was peak Disney Channel. If you thought Orlando Bloom was just a smooth-talking elf with a sword, think again, because this man brought main character energy to his proposal. February 14th, 2019, Valentine's Day. While most of us were panic ordering chocolates and forgetting to book a dinner reservation, Orlando was lifting Katy Perry into the sky. Literally. The proposal? A helicopter ride. That's right. Orlando Bloom, the man who once slayed orcs, proposed midair, above the city lights, holding a custom-made flower-shaped ruby and diamond ring that looked like it had been crafted in a Pixar film. Now, it wasn't flawless, because when two larger-than-life people try to plan a picture-perfect moment, cue chaos. Reports say there were logistical hiccups, including champagne going rogue and things not exactly going according to plan. But let's be honest, that just made it real. They weren't putting on a spectacle. They were being human, in love, slightly clumsy. Katy later called it sweet and messed up, but in a good way. Translation, it was a disaster, but adorable. And here's what hit fans the hardest. This wasn't some red carpet stunt. Orlando invited her closest family and friends to a surprise gathering afterward, making it personal, intimate, and kind of perfect. The ring, iconic. The gesture, classic. The vibes, 2000s rom-com meets royal proposal. And just like that, the world collectively said, okay, these two? Endgame. But little did we know, the real-life fairy tale was only getting started. Because up next, a tiny new character was about to enter the scene. And her name? Daisy Dove Bloom. Number 5. Meet Daisy Dove, the most chill celebrity baby ever. When celebrities announce pregnancies, they usually go for one of two routes. Option A, the vague, blurry ultrasound photo. Option B, the glossy magazine cover with a headline like, I finally found myself, and then I found baby. But Katy Perry, she said, nah, let's drop it in a music video. In March 2020, while the world was bracing for a pandemic, Katy was cradling a secret, literally. Her music video for Never Worn White ended with a dramatic twist, a glowing shot of her baby bump. No interviews, no PR rollout. Just art, emotion, and a direct hit to the feels. Fans lost their minds. The internet went from, wait, is she, to she is, faster than you can say wig snatched. The baby? A girl? The name? Daisy Dove Bloom. Which sounds like she was born inside a fairy garden sponsored by UNICEF. Which, fun fact, is kind of accurate. They announced her birth through UNICEF, the humanitarian organization both Katy and Orlando support. Instead of selling baby pics to tabloids for $1 million, they made a statement about every child deserving a safe and healthy life. Say what you want, but that's parenting with purpose. And here's where things get even more wholesome. This wasn't Katy's first encounter with kids, but it was her first child, and she embraced motherhood like she was prepping for a world tour. Orlando, already a father to Flynn, his son with model Miranda Kerr, knew the drill. But according to sources, he was just as giddy and hands-on as ever. Together, they blended their families with the grace of a Pinterest board. Flynn got along with Daisy. Katy had a strong bond with Flynn. Miranda Kerr even praised Katy publicly, calling her a wonderful addition to the family. Ex-wife approved? That's rarer than a celebrity who hasn't launched a skincare brand. And while the rest of the world was stress-baking banana bread in 2020, Katy and Orlando were juggling newborn life, co-parenting, and pandemic delays, and somehow still smiling through it. Their house in Montecito? Baby bliss central. Late-night feedings, lullabies, diaper duty, and yet no signs of cracks. On the outside, everything looked complete. But inside, well, that's where number 6 drops like a surprise album, because beneath the smiles and baby glow, things were starting to fall apart. Number 6. Schedules, space flights, and a whole lot of distance. Okay, imagine this. You've got a baby. You're engaged. You're living in a Santa Barbara mansion. But instead of dancing in the kitchen to Norah Jones, you're both working 19-hour days, living out of suitcases, and only seeing each other in Instagram stories. That, in a nutshell, was Katy and Orlando's happy ending in real life. Because once Daisy was born, the romantic high started fading, and the calendar took over. Katy, back in the spotlight, launching her 143rd album and kicking off her Play Las Vegas residency. Orlando, on film sets in exotic places, probably riding horses while saving fantasy kingdoms. Their schedules became a brutal game of relationship Tetris, and unfortunately, nothing fit. Sources close to the couple said their timelines rarely overlapped, and when they did, they were exhausted. You can't build intimacy on a FaceTime call between gigs and night feedings, unless you're a cyborg, which neither of them are, yet. And then came the spaceflight. Yes, you read that right. Katy Perry was literally scheduled to launch into orbit with Blue Origin, Jeff Bezos' rocket company. Glamorous? Kinda. Terrifying? Also kinda. Symbolic? Very. But instead of being supportive husband of the year material, Orlando reportedly wasn't feeling it. Some insiders claimed he thought the timing was off. Others said he flat out called the move cringe. Cringe. Imagine telling your fiancé that her astronaut moment is cringe. That's a quick way to get launched into emotional deep space. And let's be real, space isn't what broke them. It just exposed how far apart they already were, not just physically, but mentally, emotionally, and energetically. Katy was chasing legacy. Orlando was chasing balance. Neither was wrong, but both were clearly on different planets. Even their communication started to shift. What once felt playful now felt passive. What once felt easy now felt effortful. There were fewer appearances, less red carpet sparkle, more solo shots. Fans noticed. The media noticed. Everyone felt the chill. And while there wasn't a scandal, no cheating, no shouting matches, no dramatic breakdown at a Met Gala, what made this breakup sting was the slow fade. The way love can quietly wear down under the weight of responsibility, ambition, and absence. Which brings us crashing into number 7. The breakup was quiet, but final. On June 25th, 2025, while you were probably scrolling through TikTok or Googling, "Is Rihanna ever dropping that album?" the internet quietly exploded with the headline, "Katy Perry and Orlando Bloom split after 9 years together." No drama, no messy leaks, no blindsided betrayal. Just a single short announcement confirming what fans had been sensing for months, and just like that, a nearly decade-long romance, including a 6-year engagement, 1 daughter, and roughly 70,000 memes, was over. It was the kind of breakup that doesn't slap you in the face. It sits in your chest, because there was no clear villain, just 2 people who slowly grew apart, while trying their absolute best to hold it together. Insiders said the decision had been building for a while, not with fights, but with distance. Emotional, logistical, professional. She was on stage every night. He was in Venice 1 week, New Zealand the next. The romance didn't combust. It just deflated. Softly, slowly, inevitably. And here's the kicker. They handled it like pros. No press tour, no shade throwing, no exclusive with Diane Sawyer. They just let it go. Gracefully, respectfully, painfully adult. But while the announcement was calm, the aftermath was where the energy shifted. And that brings us to Katy's ultimate post-breakup power move. Number 8. Katy's post-breakup mood? Quokka level, unbothered. 2 days after the breakup dropped, Katy Perry did what no broken-hearted pop star is supposed to do. She posted a happy, sunshine-soaked Instagram carousel featuring her daughter, a bike ride, a beach, and a smiling quokka, that weirdly adorable Australian marsupial. The caption, "Mood, quokka." Translation, "I'm fine. He's gone. The mascara's waterproof. The girlies are thriving." No crying selfies, no cryptic quotes, no midnight tweets. Just calm, energy, and a subtle mic drop wrapped in eucalyptus and positive vibes. Meanwhile, she was still on her Lifetime's tour, performing with fire, grace, and not an ounce of heartbreak in her voice. On stage, strong, focused, empowered. Backstage, probably eating gummy bears with Daisy and watching Bluey. It was a masterclass in emotional control, not in suppressing grief, but in choosing joy. The message was clear. I might be hurting, but I'm not broken. Meanwhile, Orlando Bloom was taking a very different post-breakup route. Next up, yacht parties, Bezos weddings, and a whole lot of sunglasses indoors. Number 9. Orlando Bloom was at a wedding. Katy was at war with her comment section. Just days after the breakup, Orlando Bloom showed up solo at Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez's wedding in Venice, looking tan, looking chill, looking very recently single. He was photographed laughing with the Kardashians, sipping cocktails, and mingling with Tom Brady and Oprah like he was at a networking event for billionaires. And meanwhile, Katy had turned off comments on her Instagram. Let that contrast sink in. While Orlando was playing it cool in Venice, Katy was fending off an internet full of overinvested fans wondering how the woman who wrote Firework ended up in emotional rubble. Again. But here's what hit even harder. A video resurfaced from months earlier. Katy performing her song, Resilient, in Mexico City. She looked raw, tearful, like she was singing to someone who had already let her go. Fans were quick to connect the dots. She was breaking in real time and we didn't even know. The fan reactions? A mix of heartbreak, anger, and savage one-liners. Why does everyone break up with her on tour? I can't even clock in if my man blocks me. At least she can heal in Versace. I heal in bulk snacks. And then came the gossip fuel. Reports that Orlando had mocked Katy's spaceflight as cringe. No direct quote, no confirmation, but the internet didn't need facts. It needed a villain. But through all that speculation and stardust, there was one thing both Katy and Orlando didn't let go of. And that leads us into our final, most important truth bomb. Number 10, the love story may be over, but the parenting is forever. Breakups are messy. Celebrity breakups, messier. Add a child to the mix, usually a recipe for chaos, tabloids, and court dates. But not for Katy and Orlando. Despite the romantic split, both of them have locked in on the one thing that still truly binds them, their daughter, Daisy Dove Bloom. They've built a co-parenting routine in Montecito that's peaceful, flexible, and focused on Daisy's happiness. There's no war for custody, no one leaking anonymous complaints, just quiet cooperation and mutual love for their little girl. Katy even said Orlando's still dad of the year, and Orlando has called Katy a supermom with superpowers. The romance might be gone, but the respect remains. This isn't a couple torn apart. It's a family evolving, like grown-ups, like humans, like people who understand that love doesn't always end with a wedding, but it also doesn't have to end with war. So yeah, the helicopter fairy tale? That's in the past. But Daisy, she's there forever. And that's what makes this story different. Not just heartbreak, but healing. And now it's your turn. Do you think Katy and Orlando are done for good? Or is this just another chapter in their endlessly dramatic, surprisingly wholesome Hollywood love saga? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'll be there reading and replying like a nosy neighbor with popcorn. And if you made it this far, you already know. Direct Celeb isn't just where gossip lives. It's where the truth gets untangled, with receipts, sass, and zero shame. Hit that like, subscribe, and bell icon so you never miss another celebrity breakdown or breakthrough. Because love may fade, but the drama, oh honey, that's eternal.